The strange signal came on a normal Tuesday. Dr. Han Juo was about to leave his office at the Korean Space Agency when his computer made an unusual sound. He looked at the screen and froze. The pattern was like nothing he had ever seen before. "This can't be right," he said to himself. He ran the data again. The same pattern appeared. Han called his friend Dr. Park Suman, who worked down the hall. "Park, you need to see this now." 5 minutes later, Park stood behind Han, staring at the screen. "Is that what I think it is?" she asked. Han nodded. "It's not natural. Someone sent this signal. Someone not from Earth." Within hours, space agencies around the world confirmed Han's discovery. The signal came from beyond our solar system. It was clear and organized, definitely made by intelligent beings. The news spread fast. World leaders called emergency meetings. People looked up at the stars with new eyes, wondering who was out there. Lieutenant Colonel Kim Da-hyun got a phone call at 3 a.m. "Colonel, you're needed at headquarters immediately," said the voice on the phone. Kim dressed quickly and drove through the empty streets of Seoul. At military headquarters, officials from different countries were already on a video call. "The signal contains data," explained a NASA scientist. "We think it's some kind of language." "Can we understand it?" asked Kim. "Not yet, but Dr. Park Suman from your country is leading the team trying to decode it." Across Seoul, Park hadn't slept in 24 hours. Her office walls were covered with printouts of the signal patterns. "It has structure," she told her team. "See how these symbols repeat? This isn't random." Her assistant, Lee Ji-yoon, typed rapidly on her computer. "What if we try matching it against mathematical sequences?" she suggested. Park smiled. "Good idea. Start with prime numbers." By the end of the week, Park's team had their first breakthrough. The aliens were using math to establish communication, a universal language. Within the message was a simple greeting and an announcement. They were coming to Earth. The world both celebrated and prepared. Some people built bunkers and stored food. Others planned welcome parties. Military forces went on high alert, while diplomats prepared peace speeches. Han met with Kim at a secure government facility. "What do you think they want?" Han asked. "I hope they're friendly," Kim replied. "But we need to be ready if they're not." 3 months passed. The world waited and watched the skies. Park and her team decoded more messages, all seeming peaceful. The aliens called themselves the Narak. They spoke of trade and sharing knowledge. Then, on a clear autumn day, the Narak ships appeared. First one, then 5, then dozens. They entered Earth's orbit silently, their dark hulls reflecting sunlight as they positioned themselves around the planet. A new message came. "We request a meeting with Earth leaders." The location called International Lunar Base would be suitable. Colonel Bak Chun-ho, head of Lunar Base Security, received his orders. "Prepare for alien visitors," his commander told him. "Make history, Colonel. Make peaceful contact." Back on Earth, Lee Ji-yoon was working late when she noticed something strange in the Narak messages, a hidden frequency carrying different information. She decoded it slowly, her heart beating faster with each symbol she translated. When she finished, her hand shook as she reached for her phone to call Dr. Park. "The public messages are fake," she whispered. "I found their real communications. They're not here for peace. They're planning an attack, and it begins tomorrow." Lee Ji-yoon's hands shook as she showed the hidden messages to Dr. Park. "They've been lying all along," she said. "Look at these plans. They're mapping our defenses." Park's face went pale. "We need to warn everyone now." They called Han, who immediately contacted military command. But it was too late. As dawn broke over Asia, the Narak ships began to move. On the moon, Colonel Baek Jun-ho welcomed 3 Narak representatives to the lunar base. They were tall with gray skin that seemed to shimmer in the artificial light. Their eyes had 4 pupils each, and they never blinked. "We are honored by your visit," said Baek, following the greeting protocol developed by Earth's diplomats. The lead Nerek made a sound like metal scraping on glass. The translator device turned it into words. The honor is ours. Your world is beautiful. We have much to share. As they walked through the base, Bake noticed the aliens paying special attention to the communication center and defense systems. One alien touched a control panel when it thought no one was looking. Bake quietly spoke into his wrist communicator. Security, run a systems check. I think our guests just installed something in our computers. Before he got an answer, alarms began to blare throughout the base. On the main screen, satellite images showed Nerek ships moving into attack positions around Earth. What is happening? Bak demanded, turning to the aliens. The lead Nerek's mouth stretched into what might have been a smile. The inevitable. Your species is young. Ours needs your planet. Back on Earth, chaos erupted as the Nerek attack began. Their first targets were satellite systems and major communication centers. Within minutes, most of the world lost internet and phone service. In Seoul, Han was in an emergency meeting with government officials when the building shook. Through the windows, they saw a Nerek ship hovering over the city. A beam of red light shot down, cutting through skyscrapers like they were made of paper. We need to get to the underground command center, shouted Kim Da-hyun, who had been assigned to protect the scientists. He grabbed Han's arm and pulled him toward the emergency stairs. Across the city, Choi Min-ho was driving home when the attack started. He watched in horror as buildings collapsed around him. People ran screaming through the streets. He abandoned his car and started running too, but then stopped when he saw a group of children huddled in a bus stop, crying. Follow me, he told them. I know a safe place. Min-ho had studied engineering and knew about the old bunkers built into the mountains outside Seoul during previous wars. If they could reach them, they might survive. On the lunar base, Colonel Bake and his soldiers were surrounded by more Nerek who had teleported from their ships. You are now prisoners, said the alien leader. You will watch as we take your world. Bak's soldiers wanted to fight, but he held them back. Not yet, he whispered. We need to learn their weaknesses first. In her laboratory, Park Soo-min managed to establish a secure connection to military headquarters before the main systems went down. The Nerek are attacking worldwide, reported the general on screen. Major cities are being hit first. Casualties are high. What about the moon? Park asked. No contact. We have to assume the base is taken. Park turned to Lee Ji-yoon. We need to understand their technology if we want to fight back. Keep working on decoding their communications. Lee nodded, determination replacing her earlier fear. I'll find a way to break their codes. Outside, the sky turned red as Nerek ships positioned themselves over every major city on Earth. The attack was just beginning, and humanity faced its darkest hour. But already in secret labs and hidden bunkers, people like Park, Lee, and Bak were thinking, planning, and preparing to fight back. The Nerek had made a serious mistake. They thought humans would surrender easily. They were wrong. 3 days after the first attack, half of Seoul was gone. The Nerek ships hung in the sky like dark moons, their weapons ready to fire at any movement below. Choi Min-ho led his group of survivors through hidden tunnels beneath the city. There were 32 people with him now, including children, elderly, and the wounded. His wife, Moon Jaya, a doctor, walked at the back of the group, helping those who struggled to keep up. How much farther? Asked a tired woman carrying a small child. 2 more kilometers, Min-ho said. The mountain bunkers have food, water, and medicine. We'll be safe there. Above them, the Nerek sent out flying robots to hunt for humans. The robots could see body heat and hear even the quietest sounds. The group had to move carefully and silently. On the lunar base, Colonel Bake watched helplessly as the Nerek used Earth's own satellites to track survivors. The aliens kept the human prisoners alive to help them understand Earth's systems and people. Your cities fall easily, said the Nerek leader, who called himself Vex. Soon your people will accept us as their new rulers. Bak didn't answer. He was watching, learning. The Narak had a weakness. They didn't understand human determination. They thought the attack would break humanity's spirit. It only made it stronger. In a hidden government bunker, Dr. Han Jiwoo studied the pieces of Narak technology that soldiers had recovered from crashed scout ships. The aliens used a metal unknown on Earth, but the circuits inside were similar to human computers, only much more advanced. If we can understand their communication system, Han said to Kim Da-yeon, we might be able to listen to their plans or even disrupt their signals. Kim nodded. He had lost many soldiers in the first attacks. His arm was in a sling from a wound he got helping civilians escape Seoul. We need more than that, he said. We need a way to fight back, to hurt them. In another part of the bunker, Dr. Park Soo-min and Lee Ji-yoon worked day and night on the Narak language and codes. They noticed something interesting. The aliens seemed sensitive to certain sounds. Look at this recording, Park said, showing Kim a video of a Narak soldier reacting badly to a high-pitched alarm. They feel pain from sounds that don't bother us. Kim's eyes lit up. Could we use that as a weapon? Maybe, Park said. We need to test different frequencies. Outside, the world burned. The Narak took control of major cities across the globe. They set up bases and began extracting Earth's resources. They didn't care about the humans who died in the process. But they made a big mistake. They didn't kill everyone in the first attack. And the humans who survived were learning, adapting, and planning. In the mountain bunker, Minho's group found other survivors. Among them was General Kang Hae-soo, a tough woman with sharp eyes and a talent for strategy. We need to organize, Kang told the group. The Narak think they've won, but this is just the beginning of our fight. Jae treated the wounded while Minho helped repair the bunker's old systems. They got the radio working and made contact with other survivor groups. Slowly, a network formed. On the moon, Colonel Baek found a way to send a secret message to Earth. When the Narak weren't watching, he programmed a maintenance robot to transmit data hidden in what looked like system noise. The message contained everything he had learned about the alien ships, weapons, and plans. A month after the first attack, the Narak thought victory was theirs. Earth's governments had fallen. Major cities were under alien control. But beneath the surface, in bunkers and caves, forests and mountains, humans gathered. They shared information. They made weapons. They prepared. The Narak thought the war was over. For humans, it was just beginning. 6 months passed since the Narak attacked Earth. The aliens thought humans were beaten. They were wrong. In the mountain bunker, General Kang Hae-soo stood before 200 fighters. They were a mix of soldiers and civilians who had learned to fight. All had lost someone to the Narak. Today we strike back, Kang said. Our target is the alien food storage near Old Seoul. We take their supplies and destroy what we can't carry. Minho raised his hand. My team finished the sound weapons. He held up what looked like a normal flashlight. Point and press the button. The sound will hurt the Narak, but not us. Jae had helped test the weapons. Remember, you have 15 seconds before the aliens adjust to the pain. Use that time to attack or run. That night, 3 teams left the bunker. They moved through the dark forests, avoiding Narak patrols. Team 1, led by Kang, would attack the front gate. Team 2 would cut power to the alien base. Team 3 would steal the supplies. Minho was with Team 2. He carried wire cutters and the sound weapon. Jae waited back at the bunker, ready to treat any wounded. At midnight, the attack began. Team 2 cut the power first. As the lights went out in the alien base, Team 1 attacked the front gate. They used the sound weapons, and the Narak guards fell to their knees, holding their heads in pain. Kang's fighters moved in quickly, using human weapons against the stunned aliens. For the first time since the invasion, humans were winning a battle. Meanwhile, in the secure lab beneath the old government building, Dr. Han and Dr. Park made a breakthrough. Colonel Kim, now healed from his wounds, watched as they tested their discovery. The Narek ships use a special kind of energy, Han explained. We call it an energy. It powers their weapons and engines. And we found its weakness, Park added. She pointed to a small device on the table. This creates a field that disrupts an energy. It's small now, but we can make bigger ones. Kim picked up the device. Can it stop their ships? Not yet, Han said. But it can disable their personal weapons and small vehicles. It's a start. Far away on the lunar base, Colonel Bake watched the Narek leaders grow angry as reports came in from Earth. The human resistance was becoming a problem. The aliens had expected to control Earth in weeks, but months had passed, and they were still fighting. Bake had been carefully gathering information. He knew the Narek fleet was smaller than it first appeared. They had committed most of their ships to the Earth attack and had few reinforcements. He also knew something the Narek tried to hide. They were running low on the special material needed for their weapons. That's why they were mining Earth so aggressively. In another part of Korea, Yoon Taejin, a former video game designer, created a secret communication network for the resistance. He used old fiber cables that the Narek didn't know about. His system connected bunkers and hiding places across the country. We're not alone anymore, Taejin told the survivors in his bunker as he made contact with other groups. There are resistance fighters all over the world. From his hiding place on Mount Hala, Dr. Han tested a new device. It could detect Narek soldiers from a distance by sensing their unique body heat. He sent the plans to Kang's fighters. Lee Ji-yoon, working with captured Narek technology, found she could sometimes tap into their communications. They're arguing among themselves, she told Park. Some think this invasion was a mistake. As night fell over Earth, lights began to appear in windows that had been dark for months. It was a signal, passed from one resistance group to another. We are still here. We are fighting back. And we will win. 1 year after the invasion, humans had learned a lot about the Narek. And the Narek had learned something too. Humans were unlike any species they had ever fought. In a hidden workshop near the mountain bunker, Minho worked on a bigger version of the sound weapon. If we can make it stronger, he told General Kang, we could hit their main base. Kang nodded. We need it ready in 2 weeks. We're planning something big. Across the room, Jai mixed medicines. The Narek had tried to spread a sickness that only affected humans. But Jaya and other doctors had found a way to fight it. Now they were turning that knowledge into a weapon against the aliens. Their skin absorbs things easily, Jaya explained to a group of fighters. Put this on your bullets. It won't kill them, but it will make them very sick. In the underground lab, Dr. Park Suman had made her own discovery. The Narek see differently than we do, she told Dr. Han. They can't see the color red at all. It looks black to them. Han smiled. So if our soldiers wear red at night, the Narek won't see them coming, Park finished. On the lunar base, Colonel Buck had earned the trust of his captors. The Narek let him help with simple tasks. This gave him access to their computers. Each day, he learned a little more about Narek ships and weapons. He discovered that the main Narek fleet was not as big as humans feared. Most of their ships were small and lightly armed. They relied on fear and quick victories, not long wars. Bake found a way to send this information to Earth. He changed the programming of a supply ship heading to Earth. Hidden in its computer was a message for the resistance. The Narek are stretched thin. They fear Earth's gravity and water. They have no backup plan for a long war. Yoon Taejin's communication network now connected resistance groups in Korea, Japan, China, and Russia. When Taejin received Bak's message, he sent it to all groups. This changes everything, General Kang said when she read it. We're not just fighting for survival now. We're fighting to win. Kim Da-hyun, now a general himself, led the military side of the resistance. He had been testing the energy disruptors that Han and Park developed. They work, he told Kang over Taejin's secure line. We can shut down their small ships. Not the big ones yet, but it's a start. The Narak noticed the change in human attacks. Before, humans fought in small groups, hitting and running. Now they attacked in coordination, targeting Narak weaknesses. In their main Earth base, the Narak leader Vex called his commanders together. "These humans are becoming a problem," he said. "We need to finish them now." "Our homeworld asks why it's taking so long," said one commander. "They sent us to take this planet quickly." "We will use the big weapon," Vex decided. "It will kill most of the humans and leave the planet's resources intact." What Vex didn't know was that Li Jiyun was listening. She had found a way to spy on Narak communications. As soon as she heard about the big weapon, she alerted General Kang. "They're planning something terrible," she said. "We have 2 days to stop them." Kang called all resistance leaders to an emergency meeting. "This is the moment," she told them. "We're going to attack their main base before they can use their weapon. We'll use everything we've learned about them." As the meeting ended, Minho arrived with his new sound weapon. It was big enough to affect a whole building of Narak. "It's ready," he said. Jaya handed out medicine pouches to the fighters. "This will protect you from their weapons for a short time." All across what was once Korea, resistance fighters prepared. They put on red clothing for the night attack. They loaded special bullets. They checked their sound weapons. The time had come to show the Narak that taking Earth was the biggest mistake they had ever made. Night fell over what was once Seoul. 5,000 resistance fighters gathered in the old subway tunnels. They wore red clothing that the Narak couldn't see. They carried weapons coated with Jaya's special medicine. Each team had one of Minho's sound devices. General Kang stood on an old train platform. "Tonight we take back our home," she said. "The attack will happen in 3 waves." She pointed to a map of the Narak main base. Team 1 will hit their power station. Team 2 will attack their landing area where the big weapon is being prepared. Team 3 will target their command center. Kim Dae-hyun would lead Team 2. Minho and Jaya joined Team 3 with Kang. Tae-jin stayed in the communication center, coordinating all teams. "The Narak think they know everything about us," Kang said. "But they don't understand the most important thing. Humans never give up." At midnight, the attack began. Team 1 cut the power to the alien base. As darkness fell, the Narak sent out patrols. They didn't see the humans in red moving through the shadows. The sound weapons hit first. High-pitched noises that humans couldn't hear filled the alien base. Narak soldiers fell to the ground, holding their heads in pain. Team 2, led by Kim, moved toward the landing area. There stood a massive device. The big weapon Vex had planned to use against Earth. "Plant the explosives," Kim ordered. His soldiers moved quickly, placing bombs around the weapon. In the command center, Vex heard the alarms. "The humans are attacking," he shouted. "Launch the weapon now." But the weapon wasn't ready, and outside the command center, Team 3 was closing in. Kang, Minho, and Jaya led 50 fighters toward the main building. They used the sound weapons to clear a path. When Narak soldiers fired back, their shots missed the humans in red clothing. Inside the lab beneath the old government building, Dr. Han and Dr. Park activated their biggest and energy disruptor yet. Across the city, Narak weapons and vehicles suddenly stopped working. On the lunar base, Colonel Baek saw his chance. The Narak were distracted by the Earth attack. Many of the guards had been sent to help. Baek signaled to his fellow prisoners. It was time to take back the moon. Baek had secretly made a sound weapon using parts he had stolen over months. He activated it, and the remaining Narak guards fell in pain. The human prisoners quickly took control of the base. "Send a message to Earth," Baek ordered. "The moon is ours again." Back in Seoul, Team 3 broke into the Narak command center. They found Vex trying to call for help from the Narak homeworld. "It's over," Kang told him, pointing her gun at the alien leader. "You can't win," Vex said. "We are too advanced for you." "Being advanced isn't everything," Kang replied. "Humans know how to adapt. how to find weaknesses, how to work together. That's why we're going to win this war. Outside, Kim's team destroyed the big weapon. The explosion lit up the night sky. All across the city, resistance fighters drove the Nerek back. By morning, the main alien base was in human hands. Vex and other Nerek leaders were prisoners. The aliens who could still fight retreated to their ships and fled to orbit. Taejin's communication network came alive with messages from around the world. Other resistance groups had attacked at the same time. Shanghai, Tokyo, Manila, Sydney, Moscow. City after city reported success. "We've taken back the Earth," Kang announced to her tired but happy fighters. But the war isn't over. The Nerek still have ships in orbit. They'll try to attack again. Minho looked up at the sky. "Then we need to go after them," he said. "We need to take the fight to space." Kang nodded. "That's exactly what we're going to do." 3 months after taking back the Earth's cities, humans prepared for the next step. The Nerek ships still orbited the planet, occasionally firing weapons at the surface. They were trapped, unable to win but unwilling to leave. In a large airplane hangar near the old Incheon airport, Dr. Han and Dr. Park worked on their biggest project yet. They had captured 2 small Nerek ships intact. Now they were learning how to fly them. "The controls respond to thought patterns," Han explained to General Kang and Colonel Baek, who had returned from the moon. "The Nerek connect directly to their ships." "Can humans do that too?" asked Kang. Park nodded. "We've created an interface. It's not perfect, but it works." She pointed to helmets with wires coming out of them. "These allow our pilots to control the alien ships." Baek had brought valuable information from the lunar base. "The Nerek homeworld is here," he said, pointing to a star map. "It's about 6 months of travel in their ships." 6 months is a long time," Kang said. "Not if we want to make sure they never attack Earth again," Baek replied. In another part of the hangar, Minho worked with engineers to install sound weapons on the captured ships. Jaya prepared medical supplies for a long journey. Lee Ji-hoon had discovered something important in the Nerek leaders' files. They'd done this before, she told the others. The Nerek attack planets, take their resources, and move on. Earth is the first place that has fought back successfully. Kim Da-hyun, now in charge of training pilots, selected the best fighters for the space mission. "We need people who can learn quickly and aren't afraid of new technology," he said. Taejin's communication network now connected the whole world. Resistance leaders from every continent met via video to plan the next steps. "We can't just defend," said Kang during one meeting. "As long as the Nerek exist, Earth is in danger. We need to take the fight to them." The plan was bold. Use the captured ships to attack the Nerek fleet in orbit. Capture more ships. Then send a mission to the Nerek homeworld. Not to destroy it, but to make sure the aliens never threatened Earth again. 1 month later, 20 modified Nerek ships lifted off from different locations around Earth. They were piloted by humans wearing the thought control helmets. Each ship carried soldiers trained to fight in space. Baek led the attack from the largest captured ship. "Remember your training," he told his fighters. "The Nerek don't expect us to come to them. We have surprise on our side." The human fleet approached the Nerek ships in orbit. At first, the aliens didn't fire, thinking the ships were their own. By the time they realized their mistake, it was too late. The battle in orbit was short but fierce. The Nerek had more ships, but the humans had modified their captured vessels with new weapons. The sound devices worked in space too, transmitted through the ship's communication systems directly into Nerek helmets. When the fighting ended, the humans had captured 30 more alien ships. The remaining Nerek vessels fled, jumping to faster-than-light speed to escape. Back on Earth, people celebrated the victory, but Kang, Han, and the others knew the war wasn't over. "They'll come back with more ships," Baek said, "unless we stop them at the source." 2 weeks later, a fleet of 50 ships prepared to leave Earth. Their mission: travel to the Nerek homeworld and end the threat forever. Kang would lead the mission. Bak would be her second in command. Han and Park would study Narek technology during the journey. Minho, Jaya, and Lee would also go, each bringing their special skills. As the fleet prepared to depart, Kim Dedian, who would stay to protect Earth, spoke to the space travelers. "The future of our planet depends on you," he said. "Good luck." The ships rose into the sky, one by one. The journey would be long. The challenge would be great. But humans had proven one thing during the war on Earth: never underestimate what people can do when fighting for their home. After 6 months in space, the human fleet reached the Narek homeworld. The journey had been long, but the time was well spent. Han and Park had learned even more about Narek technology. Minho had improved the sound weapons. Jaya had created stronger medicines against alien diseases. The Narek planet was smaller than Earth, with 3 moons. It had less water and more deserts. From orbit, they could see cities and military bases. "It's not what I expected," Kang said as she looked at the planet on the main screen. "I thought their world would be bigger." Bake nodded. According to their records, most Narek live on space stations and colonies on other planets. They stripped their homeworld of resources long ago. As they approached, Narek ships moved to intercept them. Kang ordered the fleet to spread out. "Remember the plan," she told her commanders. "We target military bases only. We're not here for revenge. We're here to make sure they can never threaten Earth again." The Narek attacked first. They didn't recognize their own ships, now painted with Earth colors and symbols. The battle in orbit was fierce. The Narek had more ships, but the humans had surprise and determination on their side. Lee Ji-hoon, monitoring Narek communications, made an important discovery. "They're confused," she said. "They've never been attacked at home before. They don't know how to react." Han added, "Their home defenses aren't as strong as we feared. They put most of their forces into invasion fleets." Kang's ship took heavy damage during the fight. Part of the bridge was destroyed. Jaya worked quickly to treat the wounded while Minho repaired critical systems. "We can't turn back now," Kang said, blood running from a cut on her forehead. "Press the attack." The human fleet broke through the orbital defenses. They used their sound weapons against Narek space stations, disabling them without destroying them. They targeted military ships while avoiding civilian vessels. After 3 days of fighting, the Narek fleet was defeated. Human ships surrounded the planet. For the first time in their history, the Narek faced an enemy they couldn't beat. "Send the message," Kang ordered. Bak transmitted the terms to the Narek leaders. "Dismantle all war fleets. Pay back Earth for the damage done. Stay within their home system for 100 years. If you refuse," the message concluded, "we will do to your world what you tried to do to ours." The Narek leaders requested a meeting. Kang, Budik, Han, and Park went down to the planet in a small ship. They met the alien leaders in a large stone building. The head of the Narek Council spoke first. "How did you defeat us? We have conquered 17 worlds. None ever fought back as you did." "That was your mistake," Kang replied. "You thought humans would be like other species, but humans adapt. We learn. We work together. And we never give up when fighting for our home." "We cannot accept your terms," said the Narek leader. "Our way is to conquer. It is how we survive." "Then you need to find a new way," said Kang. "Because if you ever threaten Earth again, we won't be as merciful." To show they were serious, the human fleet destroyed the Narek's main shipyards and weapons factories. They left the cities and civilian areas untouched. 3 days later, the Narek Council agreed to the terms. They would dismantle their war fleets. They would pay reparations to Earth. They would stay in their home system. As the human fleet prepared for the long journey home, Kang looked at the Narek world one last time on the screen. "Do you think they'll keep their word?" Minho asked. "They will," Bak said. "They now know something they didn't before. There are consequences to attacking Earth." 6 months later, the fleet returned home to celebration. Earth was rebuilding. Cities were growing again, and humans looked to the stars not with fear, but with determination. The Narak had thought Earth would be an easy conquest. Instead, they learned a lesson that the universe would soon know: never underestimate humans.